Hi, welcome back to another session of Rich Habits, Poor Habits with Tom Corley in the United States. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm well again, thank you, and Michael Yardney here in Australia. And this series of weekly webcasts has started to attract a massive audience. We're getting them on Facebook, people looking at it on Tom's blog, my blog, Twitter, and people are sharing it a lot. So I'm going to ask you a favour, please. If you're getting some benefit from this, please click one of the links on the side of our websites and share it through Facebook, through Twitter, pass it on to other people so others can get benefit. We offer all this, what we believe, great information at no charge, no cost. You don't even have to put your name down to get this, but we'd love you to subscribe to our blogs as well so you can get more information. How are you finding it in the States, Tom, with this series of videos?
I'm getting consistent emails almost every time we release these from at least a dozen people who they always say thank you. I'm getting a lot of value out of this, and that makes you feel good because you're in this, Michael. We're in this to help people. We really don't get anything out of this. We're doing it just to help people, and the emails are the things that we kind of let us know that we're doing what we intended to do, which is help people improve their lives.
You're right, Tom. It actually gives us good feedback and motivates us. So thank you for all those kind messages as well. Tom, this is a series about rich habits and poor habits, but really it's a series about ways that we can become successful in all elements of our lives, not just money, because true success isn't measured by how big your stock portfolio is or how much real estate you own. Tom, you spent 5 years studying successful and rich people and poor people to work out the different habits they've got. So in today's session, what I'd like to go through with you is what you found out about the differences that successful people share. In other words, what does it take to be successful, Tom?
Yeah, I found something that I call the 20 universal truths of success. And it seemed like a common thread that I found in almost every self-made millionaire that I studied. So I documented these 20 universal truths, and I think they're really profound. I think anybody that listens and is tuned into what we're talking about will really get a lot of benefit from this discussion.
Okay, so let's go through them. The first one you said is that all successful people require passion.
Yeah, passion is the key. I mean, I've even seen and watched interviews by people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. These are really super successful people, billionaires, and they always talk about the importance of passion because, as Steve Jobs puts it, you need to be passionate because you're going to face so many hurdles, so many pitfalls, so many obstacles. You're going to want to quit. And the only thing that's going to prevent you from quitting is passion. If you don't have passion, you're going to quit. There's no doubt about it because this entrepreneurial this journey that everybody who's interested in success is on is just fraught with just obstacles and hurdles.
Of course, if you're passionate about what you do, as it's often said, you're really not working hard, are you? You're actually enjoying what you're doing, and it gives you good reason to get up every morning. The success habit number 2 that you mentioned, Tom, is that successful people have an unrelenting persistence.
Yeah, now this is interesting. The reason I have it as number 2 is because passion gives birth to persistence. Without passion, you won't have persistence because when you're functioning off of passion, you're working off of emotional energy, and that's where persistence becomes a character trait. So persistence is another common thread that you'll find in every successful person, but it's there only because they have passion.
Tom, successful people are also willing. They're prepared to take risks.
Yeah, they go all in. They're not afraid to put their house up, to mortgage everything that they own. They take this incredible faith in themselves They take risks, which we'll talk about, this leap of faith, we'll talk about that. But they're able to take these risks that other people would run away from.
Tom, they're also prepared to work hard. I've found that successful people work really hard till they've got a big enough asset base that they don't have to work hard. But I keep getting in my inbox, and I bet you get the same, all these get-rich-quick schemes which say, come to my weekend seminar and you'll never have to work again, or get this internet course and you won't have to work. Successful people know that they've got to work to achieve success.
Yeah, hard work is a prerequisite. You're going to – here's the thing, though. So when I had an opportunity – to do a speaking engagement on the same stage as Richard Branson. And I got to, because I was a speaker, I got to ask him, I had my 5 minutes with him. And I asked him a question. I said, do you consider what you do work? And he said, no. To him, it's play. So when I talk about hard work, there's things that you don't want to do. I would say probably from my research, 80% of the stuff you're not going to enjoy doing, but the 20%, that's going to be where the fun comes in, and that keeps you motivated. So I think the hard work thing, I don't want to scare anybody. Yeah, you're going to work hard, but 20 to 25% of the time, you're not even going to notice it. You're going to feel like you're playing.
Because of your rule number one, Tom, because of your passion.
That's right.
One thing you've often heard me say is that if you're the smartest person in your team, you're in trouble. So I know one of your rules of success is that you need a team of what you call apostles behind you, who believe in you and achieve your dream. What do you mean by apostles?
Well, I like to use the metaphor of Jesus Christ because he had 12 apostles. And if he didn't have 12 apostles, we would never know who Jesus Christ was. He became famous because of these 12 individuals. So what your apostles are able to do they're not only able to help you pull your cart, but I always like to say 1 + 1 = 3. So if you have even one apostle and you two are working together, you actually have 3 brains working because it's a multiplier effect. So the more people you can surround yourself with who share your passion, who buy into your dream, you're going to increase tenfold your chances of success.
Tom, something we've often spoken about is that all success requires continual, ongoing, daily self-education. The average person, I think, thinks they finish their education when they leave school, while successful people recognize that's only the beginning of their education, Tom.
Yeah, you've got to do the reading every day, and particularly around your industry. So whatever industry you're in, whatever your dream is, whatever industry that's in, you've got to become an expert in it. You've got to not only develop your skills, but you have to develop your knowledge. And the way to develop your knowledge is through self-education. You have to read, you have to listen to podcasts, you have to watch videos like this, seminars. You and I go to seminars, Michael. It's not because we like taking time off from work. We go there because we want to learn. We want to pick the brains of people who are doing the leaders in their industry. And that, so there's a lot of ways to self-educate yourself. There's no one way to do it.
Much easier today than when we first started. I remember listening to tape sets in the car because there weren't the DVDs or the MP3 players. Tom, one of the things I learned along the way was the concept of tithing, that you've got to give 10% of your income to charity and to poorer people. But then I learned from one of my mentors the concept of tithing another 10% to yourself to improve your self-education. So over the last years, I've spent more than $100,000 a year on business coaches and personal development. But you'll find all successful people, whether they're sports people, whether they're business people, pay for the best mentors, they pay for the best coaches, for the best training programs, they invest their time. You and I speak at many big seminars, we've shared the stage, and you're going to do it again in this coming year at Wealth Retreat. And we find people give up a lot of money and 5 days of their time to educate yourself. So what I'm suggesting is you've got to be prepared to invest in it, money as well as time. There's a lot of free resources, but that's only going to get you so far. And we're giving this for free, and I believe it's a lot of good information. I'm just putting out the thought that you've got to go beyond just what's free, don't you, Tom?
Oh, yeah, you have to. There's no question about it. If you want to get from point A to point B, you've got to go where the talent is. And they're at seminars, they're at these wealth retreats, they're at summits, they're at a whole host of things. You've got to spend a little bit of money to gain some knowledge sometimes. And it's not just, you're going to get to a certain point by reading and by listening to the podcast. But if you want to take it and push yourself over the edge and really elevate yourself, you're going to have to invest in these seminars and in these retreats.
Tom, we're discussing what it takes to be successful. And one of the things you've come up with your research is that it requires a leap of faith. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is leap of faith and this taking risk. They're kind of joined at the hip in a sense, because you're not going to take a risk unless you have complete faith in yourself and in your dream. So you have to really believe down deep that your dream is possible. So you take this leap of faith, and this is a risk. So it's you have to. Nobody realizes a dream, Michael, without faith. It's just a prerequisite for it. So you're just going to have to either take the leap or not. And if you don't take the leap, it's because you really don't believe in your dream.
That's a good point, Tom. I've found successful people burn their bridges behind them so they have no choices, while you'll find the average person sort of has a foot in each camp. They're not sure. They sit on the fence. They have a plan B, and that means that they don't persist as hard with plan A, do they?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because one of the things that I've written about is how these self-made millionaires, before they hit it big, they almost box themselves up against the wall. They have no choice but to succeed. So they take this leap of faith, which requires a high risk tolerance. And then when the things don't go right, and almost 100% of the time, nothing goes the way you plan. And so now they're boxed in. They've got their back up against the wall. And this is where true genius emerges, when you have absolutely no choice but to succeed. That's when you have to dig down deep and find out what you're really made of. And that's the inner genius coming out. So this leap of faith is, hey, I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure it out somehow. I'll build that airplane on my way down, jumping off the cliff.
Okay, Tom. Also, one of the things that it takes to be successful, and it's hard for us sometimes, is patience. But I remember Warren Buffett's beautiful saying that wealth is the transfer of money from the impatient to the patient.
I love that quote, because it is so true. And I have to say, this is one of my character flaws. I see it. I know that you have to be patient, and yet I find myself lacking patience. And I always have to remind myself, truly successful people are patient. That's what I found in my research. And I have to kind of talk myself off the edge, because it's so hard to be patient. But that, if you can be
because
patient,
of your passion, of course, because you're so passionate, you're so keen, goes back
right
to your first point, but you've got to temper it with patience.
Yeah, you have to just believe. This is where the faith, these are all kind of interrelated. They're like dominoes, right, Michael?
Yes.
So patience is just another domino. If you have faith, if you really believe in yourself and you have that passion, you're going to be patient. You're going to keep at it. You're going to be relentless and persistent. And that patience, one of the byproducts of persistence and patience is good luck. And when people quit, what they're actually giving up is the opportunity for good luck to occur.
Tom, we're going through the 20 things that it takes to become successful from your 5-year study of the wealthy, successful people and how they differ from the poor. I'd like to discuss one more this session, and then if we could come back next week, we'll discuss the second 10. The last one, I guess, is the basis of your writings, your book, your blogs, our book, Rich Habits, Poor Habits, and it is that all success requires good daily habits.
Yeah, this is the real Ark of the Covenant. Inside
I loved Raider too. What was it? Raiders of the Lost Ark and Harrison Ford and the Ark of the Covenant. So please share it.
I did too. So what is really at the heart of all success, I found in my research, are good daily habits. They are the very foundation of success. I think I have this, it's in the middle. It's not number one because I believe passion is number one. But I will tell you, this is the infrastructure for success, your daily habits, and why people who have passion, who take a leap of faith, and who take risks and have all of these great success traits, why they fail is because they never develop good daily success habits. So I really think it's the glue. John Wooden has this pyramid, this leadership pyramid. I don't know, pyramid of success, if you've ever seen it. And he has on the sides of it, or little sayings, and they're the mortar. I think the mortar for success is good daily habits. Without it, your whole journey is going to go, is going to fail. You have to have good daily success habits.
Well, Tom, that's a really great way to finish this session, because that's what your daily blog, richhabits.net, is all about. That's what our sessions here, our weekly Rich Habits Poor Habits sessions about. That's what your books and many of my books are about. And our joint book, Rich Habits, Poor Habits, is about as well. So can we come back next week, please, and talk about the second 10 things that you really require to become successful?
Sure, I'd be delighted, Michael.
Thanks.